Hi, welcome to another adventure with Pop. And here we are at Pop's Digital World today with my new piece of equipment that's really making a difference. First of all, it's called a Universal Retro Scan Mark I. This is an 8mm, 16mm digitizer, frame by frame. So we're going to take a look at this today, and I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to try to stay out of the way so we can see what we're actually doing here. So I've already got the film already in, but we haven't got everything set up yet, so I wanted to show you how that is. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you see this. So what we have here is we have the software for the scan, and up in the corner, right hand corner, upper right, we've got all of the information of where we're going with the drive. We've got grain reduction, I've got it on heavy, I've got it on auto exposure, and I'm capturing this uncompressed AVI in the fast file. Now this has two settings. It has a 10 frame a second or a 15 frame a second. I'm running the 10 frame a second right now. But what I wanted to do was let you see just how this was going to work. So I say, okay, I've already got these settings. And right down here we have a preview button. And I'm going to press that preview button. And what I need to do is I've got a switch here that says forward. So what I need to do is I need to get this framing so that we can get it framed properly. Okay, first what I'd like to show you is that this system is not involved in trying to pull with a claw or a sprocket or any type of advancing mechanism. This is purely friction feed. So when the film comes across this gate, there's a little sensor here. This sensor right here is lit up, and it senses the film by the sprocket holes. It's not doing it by advancing anything. It's just trying to make sure that the tension of this up to the reel stays good and tight. So this is not going to damage your film in any way. So this is a good archival piece when you have film that has sprocket holes that have been ripped out or has not been stored properly and has problems with the sprocket holes. This will feed the film without any problem at all. So let me get back out of the way and I'll show you what we got. So like I say, this is a special thing. We're going to do the preview button here, and then we're going to take a look at the film. So I've got it pretty much in line and I'm ready to do this. So now the thing is that what we need to do is we need to loosen up this reel here so that I can back up the film so that I can start from the beginning. So I'm just turning the film back to the position of the start. Then I'm taking this and tightening it back up, the reel back up here. So we're looking at the exposure here, but everything seems to be good. Now in order to get going, what we have to do is we have to take off this preview. We have to come up here to the right, and then we see that we've got everything set. Now we're going to make a new album, okay? So you double click this, and we're just going to say test MT Rushmore. So this is something that I like to do so that we can always take a look at what we've seen previously. So I usually don't fool with the year here. You could, but I don't usually fool with it. So this test Rushmore will become right here. So it says test Rushmore and the feet is 0. Now in order to start this capturing, you double click this and then you come back here to the start. So you press start and then flip the switch. So now we're capturing everything, and you can see how fast this is capturing. This is capturing at 10 frames a second. So what I'm doing now is I'm just aligning this just a little bit to make sure that it's doing a good process here. So you can see we're capturing this and the image is really good. We don't have any problem. You've seen this image before, so you can tell it's very, very sharp. There's no problem with this at all. So this is going to run, but what's really great about this, the speed of this is going to be astronomical. Right here, we're looking at the frames, we're looking at the feet, and we're looking at drop frames, and there's no drop frames. We're looking at regular 8, this is positive, and we're at 3 in the shadows, and we're auto exposure level. So if we wanted to change this and make it brighter, we could. It just depends on what you want to see. I particularly like this the way that it is right now. And so what I'm trying to get to you is, when you're doing a framer like Magnasonic or you're doing Wolverine Pro, you're going really slow. You can see how fast this framing is going. It almost looks like a normal speed, but it is actually a little bit slow. So you're not going to really get a long 35-minute process here. So right now we've already run 14 feet of a 50-foot roll. So we're doing really, really good. So I think that I'm going to let this go so that you can see this and understand what's going to happen here and how long it's going to take. Now the thing is that this is an AVI uncompressed file. We can convert this after the fact, so we don't have a problem with that conversion. All right? So the thing is that if we want this to be in any other video format, we can go to video format change and make sure that it actually changes. Just to let you know, the exposure here, I can take the exposure. I'm going to wait till we get to something where we can really see the exposure change. This is not a very good place here to do that. But we're seeing this almost in real time. So we're going to, as soon as I get to a space where we can really see some color change and some brightness change, you won't notice it so much here because this was a kind of a cloudy day. So you don't have a lot of extra detail here for you to be able to see that change. So there we go. So now if I brighten this up, you can see I brightened it up, and I can turn it back and you can see that I can change that the way that I want. So I change it back, or I can brighten it up a little bit. I like that brightness right about there. I think that you can see even the images in the background here are really super sharp. This is very sharp here too. So we're looking at a really great sharpness. So that's one of the other things I was looking for, was the extra sharpness of this lens that's on here, which is really a super dynamic lens. So we're not really going to end up worrying about whether or not we've got sharpness, and we're going to cut down our time. So our time is one of the major things when you're doing rolls and rolls of film. If you're doing 50-foot rolls of film, or even the larger reels, a 5-inch reel will take you forever. So Let me see, I got a telephone ringing. It's unusual. Good morning, Donnie. How are you? Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. What's up? Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. You can't depend on that. You need to do it right away. Right. Okay. I'm kind of listening. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, I had a phone call, so I had to get interrupted on this video. And so there's nothing I can do but show you that I press stop. And when I press stop, it gives me the frame here and 001. And it gives me the date, 6/29/2022. So I've got the information. So in my description, I'm just going to say, okay, looks good. Okay, and then I say okay. So now up in the corner here we have this test, and it gives the description regular 50.50 feet. Okay, so that's how long it did. So we're going to take a look and preview this. So that's the image that we're getting. Okay, so now I'm just going to say stop it. And I'm going to go back and put it back into its original position. And then I'm going to tell it that I want to export it. So right down here it says export. Export. Okay, and here it will give me what I need for that description. So the description was test. Here it is here. And then it gives me all the details, 4:3 video, 720 4:3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this, and there's a drop down box. So I'm going to do it at 1080 16:9, and then I'm going to check the box and tell it to export it. So this is how long it takes for the export of this AVI file. An AVI file is a very big file, so you can imagine that this it would be kind of like if you were doing the rendering in software, how long it would take to render it and export it. So when it finishes this, it will be done with a AVI file that is uncompressed. So that means we've got the best image that we can get. So there you go. That's what it is, and that's how it's done. And I'm telling you that this is really a great machine. This machine costs a lot of money, so don't think that you're going to go out and buy one cheap. Okay? This one also, like I say, has the 16 millimeter gate. This is an 8 millimeter gate. I have the 16 millimeter gate over here. So that's the gate. So this gate fits here. So these are interchangeable. So this is made for 16 millimeter. So I just unscrew these knobs, screw this back down, and we got 16 millimeter. Isn't that pretty cool? So I'm just going to set it there so I can finish. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I know that this is going to save me a lot of time, and it's going to save me having to try and make something happen in outside software to sharpen, when this will sharpen it as sharp as it's going to get. So I'm so happy that I have this, and I hope that you guys really understand this. If you need some film that is really giving you a problem and you'd like to make it extra special, feel free to contact me at popsdigitalworld@yahoo.com, or you can always give me a call at 503-607-4693. This says done, and we are done. Thanks for viewing.